Brock Purdy even step on the field without a new deal?
Brock Purdy shouldn't step in the locker room, in the facilities, for none of this until you give me a deal. I took you to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. Like I said before, I ain't on the organization side no more. I'm on Purdy's side because you got this dude in the 7th round. He overexceeded his expectations, played extremely well in your system. And if he don't get hurt, you possibly to 2 Super Bowls if he don't get hurt in that Philadelphia game. And he played the best in the Super Bowl. When you went to the Super Bowl, it was everybody else but him. And when I mean everybody else, I mean Trent, I mean Debo, I mean Ayuk, I mean McCaffrey, I mean the coach included because he didn't coach his best game. I mean all of them except Brock Purdy. And you sitting here talking about we might not come to an extension and I have outplayed my contract. It's crazy. I don't need no cleats. I've called a equipment manager. I call him Old Dog in Green Bay. Old Dog, you ain't got to worry about putting nothing in my locker. It's going to be empty until you hear me sign a contract. I'm not walking in the building. I'm not sitting in no meetings. I know the playbook. I know all that. I am not showing up if I'm Brock Purdy until you pay me my money. I'm not finna sit here and be the nice guy when I was the last pick in the draft and I outplayed my contract. Whether you think I'm elite or not, whatever, it's my turn. It's my turn. And I'm not coming until you give me my bread, period.
Purdy shouldn't even think about stepping on the field without a new deal.
Man, it's changed.
Yeah, that's facts. Kyle Shanahan, I believe, he's one of my favorite coaches. Top 3 coach in football. I've gone as far as to say he's number 2. Brock Purdy saved Kyle Shanahan's job.
Ooh. Brock Purdy saved Kyle Shanahan's job. Because Trey Lance...
Because history has shown us, and history has told us, if you use multiple picks, particularly multiple first-round picks on a quarterback, and you lose that season or soon thereafter, it's over for you. Kyle, ask your daddy, Mike, use multiple picks to draft Robert Griffin. Rookie of the year that year, Robert Griffin ends up hurt. Mike, you out of there. Kyle Shanahan asked the coach before Sean McVay, multiple picks to acquire Jared Goff, started 0-7, Jeff Fisher, out of there. Kyle Shanahan, just look what the Panthers did. Frank Wright, multiple firsts. Bryce Young, didn't win with Bryce year one, out of there. If you use multiple first-round picks or multiple picks to move up to acquire a Q, which Shanahan did for Trey Lance, and you lose early on, you're out of there. Shanahan, Purdy saved your job. Now, simultaneously, Purdy, Shanahan has made you and will make you a lot of money. So everybody calm down. Yeah. But given what Purdy has done for Kyle Shanahan, keeping his job, Purdy shouldn't even think about, as James has suggested, stepping in the locker room. You know what? Forget don't go in their facility. Yeah. Don't even come on this show. Don't even come on these facilities. Like, don't even come near facilities. You can
come on this show anytime you want.
Not until you get paid. Nope. Don't even come on facilities.
I want to talk to you about big money, not holdouts.
Chase, what you think?
So, man, that's a strong take. So you think Brock Purdy saved Kyle Shanahan's job?
Yeah, history suggests it.
Okay. And then you also said, everyone cool out, because Brock Purdy
has been made a lot of money by Shanahan.
Has been made a lot of money.
Yes.
And so that is why I have faith that this won't even get to that type of step.
Okay.
And I believe that they will get a contract extension done before he even has to. And you see this play out all the time. I'm trying to be the cooler head in this situation because, like, look, my agent made me a lot of money. I know how some of these things work. And he said, she said this, until they can sit down and say, hey, this is a really fair number for what you did. Because honestly, teams, you know, you were talking about back pay. They don't pay you for what you did. They pay you for what you think you're going to be. And I do think that they think Brock Purdy is their franchise guy. We all saw what happened last offseason when they waited forever to pay Brandon Ayuk. They didn't want to pay him over 30. Okay, let's just do it at the last minute. Ayuk was not healthy, didn't get a full offseason, hurt himself. Trent Williams, the whole situation, it's just a weird vibes going on there. So I do think that Brock Purdy should show up as business as usual. He's due to make $5 million this year, which it's not a lot of money.
Oh, that's repulsive.
Okay, it's not a lot of money. It's not repulsive because in a day and age where everybody has a podcast and everyone's all over social media, and we see A.J. Brown tweeting this, and we see different guys tweeting this and that, and they're all over social. Sometimes being the good guy can win. You don't always have to be and put yourself out there. And I can already tell, I'm not even looking at you, I'm looking right here. I can already see him the good guy is not always a bad situation to be in. And I'd say in that, I'm like, hey, know that you're going to get a deal done. Show up like business as usual because, quite honestly, Kyle Shanahan made you a lot of money. And you owe it to that organization, to that franchise to show up for you.
A lot of money.
He has because
he will.
He will.
Chase, my brother told me something that stuck with me because my brother, like you, I think was a union rep, player rep.
I'm a good guy.
My brother told me this. He said, owners don't become billionaires by being nice people. Billionaires don't become billionaires by handing money away. So Brock Purdy can't be the good guy because the Niners suggest, forget history, the Niners suggest they don't just pay their dogs. Nick Bosa was a defensive player of the year. The best defensive player in football had to hold out. Brandon Ayuk wasn't all pro. He wasn't all pro, had to hold out. Trenton Williams, best left tackle in football going into last season.
Yeah.
He had to hold out. Deebo Samuel had a 1,400-yard season, and he had to hold out. The Niners' history suggests they don't just give money away.
It's in Brock Purdy's best interest to show up because if he tries this, like, holdout stuff, first of all, he's going to lose his bread. He's not going to be a starter anymore. And as soon as you're not a starter, I can't tell you with
he's not going to be a starter.
Like, I'm just saying, like, I cannot tell you with 100% conviction that Brock Purdy can go elsewhere and have the type of career he has in San Francisco. So I think Brock Purdy needs to understand that. And by being the good guy, you understand my best part of my career, my ceiling of my career can be with Kyle Shanahan. I can't 100% conviction say Brock Purdy is going to be great with the Giants or great with a lesser team around him. And so that's why I think play the game a little bit. There's a way to play the game as a good guy. Hey, yeah, I'm going to show up, but you better bring my bread. And look, last year it led, all those things you said were correct. What did it lead to for the 49ers organization?
But Purdy can't worry about that, though.
And my thing is...
He has to worry about it. He's a leader of the team.
My thing is, and you know that, right? Ownership. So when is it your turn to be the good guy? That's all I'm saying. Why does all our star players have to hold out? When is it your turn to be the good guy? If I'm Brock Purdy, I ain't made no money.
Yeah.
Right? My wife taught me one thing. Don't spend money until you get it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't even spend it when you get it.
You ain't got
all your wife taught you.
Don't even spend it while you get it.
You talking about you got all this money because you got an appearance coming up. They can cancel on you.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? And you done spent your $20,000. You ain't got it yet. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't made no money. I make $5 million. I'm different than Trent. I'm different than Bosa. I'm different than Deebo. Them dudes had money.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So if they wanted to come, they had money at the time if they didn't want to hold out. I don't have no money. I can step on this practice field and I can get hurt.
Again.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm not walking into this building until you guys give me my money. And if you guys got another plan at quarterback, cool. I'm not coming. Y'all can figure out and trade me and let me go somewhere because I don't know how I'm going to be somewhere else.
And I think the resolution is headed that way. I do think the 49ers have learned from last year that they're going to pay this guy.
But if they had, Chase, and I'm not suggesting they haven't, if they have, though, why are we in this situation? Meaning, it appears early on the Niners are doing the same thing. I'm very close to Brandon Ayuk's agent, close friend of mine. And he told me, and he allowed me to share this publicly, the tension with that deal was they lowballed him at first, and then they increased the offer ever so slightly. Then they said, we good on talking. That was why BA wanted out. Not because BA didn't want to be a Niner, Brandon Ayuk, that is. It's because that first offer was low. They said, hey, counter. Niners was like, nah, we good. Right now, the first offer that we all collectively know publicly is at 45, maybe 46, maybe $47 million. It's low. So I can't perceive that the Niners will change their behavior, Chase, because they did the same thing a year ago.
Dog, do you remember what position we're talking about?
Q.
Quarterback. We're not talking about a receiver. We're not talking about it's the quarterback of your organization.
What's that mean?
That means it is the most important player in your organization. They went to a Super Bowl. They understand that with Brock Purdy. They went to 2 NFC Championship games with Brock Purdy. I think this is just playing out publicly. Like I said, and I'll say it again, this is going to get a resolution before they even have to do this.
But my only thing is, like, you hear John Lynch say funny stuff like that.
It's leverage. You've heard it all before.
No, but leverage is
they're trying to get leverage.
We got an offer out. We're going to talk. We're going to communicate. We're going to try to get this thing done, right? Who cares? Who has the leverage in there? We're going to get... When you sit here, and I'm sitting at the house right now, if I'm Brock Purdy, and I'm getting ready to get my bag ready and all that to go train because I'm going to get ready for the season, and I hear my GM come out and say, it might not get done this offseason. What?
Listen.
And you knew, because we had conversations all last year, they knew Brock Purdy's coming up. They knew that.
known.
And now
They've
we
been
want to
known.
sit here and act surprised and we talking about it might not get done. Well, what might not get done is me coming in this facility.
We've seen Kyle Shanahan take this team to a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, right now, the San Francisco 49ers, whether we like it or not, they have all the leverage.
Who's the quarterback?
I'll tell you how. He has $5 million due this year, 41 next year if they tag him, 51 the next year. That's a 3-year contract worth $97 million that they can continue to hold Brock's rights for $97 million. And in the meantime, spend that 3 years finding the next franchise quarterback. Brock Purdy, you don't have as much leverage as you think. According to CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, that's a fact. You are under contract right now for $32.5 million a year.
And the last
now we want to give you 48. You gonna take it,
Nope.
or are you gonna just take 97?
And
Because you're gonna play. You ain't missing
I'm
out
not
on.
playing.
You're not missing out on $97 million
I'm
of
not
bread.
going out there until I have a deal. And Cal Shanahan, the
You
last
are
time you
not
drafted a quarterback, we've seen how that went.
Guys, James, you're talking like you never played the game, my guy.
You're talking like you're in ownership.
90
I'm talking like I'm the
I'm
player.
talking the facts of the matter, dog. You're not going to skip out on $97 million.
Here's what we know, though. Brock Purdy's teammate just did it last year. Remember, Trent Williams started the year not playing. If I'm not mistaken, Colvin, correct me if I am wrong, because I'm doing this off the top of my head 9 months later. But Trent Williams was holding out, and I think it lasted either into the season or right up into the season. Like, Brock Purdy has seen his own teammate do it. There is a world, Chase, where, hey, fine me. Retroactively, we put it in the contract, so you'll pay me enough to counterbalance the fines.
Yeah,
There's a world where Purdy just says, I'm good.
And this is why it gets done before the NFL draft. Because Kyle Shanahan, look at Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart fit in that system. I can do the same thing with you.
See, now you're hoping and wishing. They thought Trey Lance could.
Hey, that's a great point,
You understand what I'm
Chase.
saying?
It's a
You
good
thought
point,
Trey
Chase.
Lance could, and if
Nick
you didn't
Mo-
hit on this young boy, you fired.
I didn't want to have to do this. Kyle Shanahan made Nick Mullins the NFL passing leader in the history of the game through his first 10 games of the year.
It didn't win,
Come on,
though.
dog.
He didn't win, though. He didn't win.
Okay, because the team wasn't as good around him.
And the team isn't right now.
And guess what? Their defense isn't either.
But I'm saying
That's what I'm
they
saying. The
didn't
team
win.
is
Kyle Shanahan's a quarterback whisperer. I like Brock Purdy. I'm just playing the devil's advocate here
course.
because the team does, whether Brock likes it or not, they have the leverage. They have
I
the
do
leverage.
agree.
The Niners were terrible with Nick Mullins.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.